The Vardar River flowed silently beneath the ancient stone bridge, mirroring the silver glow of a full moon. Skopje was asleep, or so it seemed to the world. But Bojan knew better. He stood on the edge of the parapet, his boots gripping the centuries-old stone. He wasn't looking at the water. He was watching the ripples in the air, the invisible seams where the city's history met its hidden magic. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted. The streetlights flickered and died, plunging the bridge into an unnatural ink-black darkness. Bojan felt the weight of an ancient grudge pressing down on his chest. He reached behind his shoulder, his fingers wrapping around the hilt of a blade that wasn't there a second ago. He wasn't just a student, he was the latest in a long line of sentinels, sworn to keep the echoes of the past from consuming the present. From the swirling mist at the far end of the bridge, a figure emerged. Zora didn't walk so much as glide, her presence distorting the very light around her. She was a weaver, a master of the forgotten arts, who sought to unravel the seals holding the city's old spirits in check. She raised a hand, and the shadows beneath her feet began to writhe like living serpents, hungry and cold. "The stone bridge was built to connect, Bojan," Zora's voice echoed, sounding like grinding rocks. "But it also serves as a lock. I have the key, and tonight I will turn it." She lunged forward with terrifying speed. Bojan met her halfway, his spectral blade clashing against a staff of solidified shadow she had summoned into her grip. The impact sent a shockwave through the bridge, cracking the pavement. Bojan spun, narrowly dodging a strike that would have shattered his ribs. He knew he couldn't win by strength alone. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, weathered coin, a relic from the Roman era found beneath the Kale fortress. Chanting a short, sharp command, he crushed the coin in his palm. A burst of golden light erupted, blinding the shadows and forcing Zora to recoil. Zora hissed, her eyes narrowing as she regained her footing. She wasn't finished. She slammed her staff onto the bridge, and the very stones began to groan and shift. The ground beneath Bojan's feet turned to liquid shadow, threatening to swallow him whole. "You fight for a city that has forgotten you," she screamed, summoning a whirlwind of dark shards that circled her like a storm. Bojan struggled to stay upright as the bridge beneath him felt like it was dissolving. He felt the cold claws of the shadow stuff pulling at his ankles. He looked toward the old bazaar, where the spirit of the city lived in every narrow alley and copper pot. He drew strength from the city itself. With a roar, he drove his glowing blade into the shifting shadows, anchoring himself to the reality of the stone. The light from his sword began to spread, turning the liquid shadow back into solid, honest rock. Bojan hauled himself up and launched a final, desperate counterattack. He moved like a blur, a streak of blue and gold light against the blackness. Zora raised her staff to parry, but Bojan flicked his wrist, throwing a localized burst of light that distracted her for just the fraction of a second he needed. The kick connected, sending Zora flying backward toward the edge of the bridge. Her staff shattered into 1,000 pieces of harmless smoke. She teetered on the brink, her expression a mix of rage and calculated retreat. "This is only the first seal sentinel," she whispered as she let herself fall backward into the darkness of the Vardar River below. "Skopje will breathe its secrets once more." Bojan stood alone on the bridge as the sun began to peek over the horizon, painting the Vodno mountain in shades of pink and orange. The streetlights flickered back to life, and the city began to wake. He looked down at his hand. The Roman coin was gone, replaced by a strange blackened mark on his palm. The battle was won, but the war for the soul of the mystic city had only just begun.